Hi there. Today, I want to talk to you about having a radical rethink on a daily spiritual practice. People come to me a lot and they want coaching or me to talk to them about a daily practice. And so today, I'm going to talk to you about that, a daily practice, and how you can kind of rethink it. One of the things that, if you have been following me or you know me from before, you will know is that I have a daily writing practice. My daily writing practice, I've got the book here. As of today, I am on day 3096. 3096 days of writing every single day. And people think that people are like, are always in awe of that. They're always like, how do you do that? And the interesting thing about it is that the answer isn't, I have shown up 3,096 days in a row. The answer is that I have shown up today 3,096 times. And that is a very different thing. We are built for, we're taught to avoid discomfort. We are taught to we're being trained to avoid discomfort. We are being trained um, to expect things to be easy and quick and smooth. And so many times when people start a daily practice, they think, "Oh well, I don't feel like it today. It's okay. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to um, I'm going to be gentle with myself today because I don't feel like it. So I'm going to start tomorrow, or I'm going to just keep going tomorrow." And while there is a place in our lives for this, for gentleness, for kindness, for being soft on ourselves, um, for for just gentle and kind and easy and baby steps and taking care of our babies, our younger selves, and all of that. While there's a time for that, when you if you want to commit to something, if you have committed to something and you have done enough work that you know that it is a authentic transmission of yourself, that it is who you are and what matters to you, then you will get far more out of showing up for it than you ever will out of being kind to yourself. Because then you get down the road and you wonder, why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing this? Why do I still feel stuck? Why haven't I made any changes? And tough love here, it's because you are letting yourself off the hook when it comes to something that matters to your soul. And I'm not saying you have to do a practice every day, but when people, I know that there's a longing out there for a daily practice. And so when you create a daily practice, it has to be something that is so true to who you are, that matters so much to you that you can't imagine not doing it. And so when I talk about a daily practice, all I do is show up today in devotion to, I am a writer. That is what I do. I am a writer. And so what do writers do? This is how I started 3,097 days ago. I tried Artist's Way morning pages. I have tried 90 days of showing up. I have tried it all. And for some reason, and one day I sat down with my journal and I said, and it was like, I tried morning pages. I'm pretty sure it was morning pages. It was something. And I was like, day 3. And I didn't do it on day 4 again. And I was like, what is going on here? Why am I not? Why can't I just? And I wrote it in my journal. And I got an answer in my journal. And it was, stop screwing around and show up already. The word wasn't screwing around. It was far worse, but I'm not swearing on YouTube. Stop screwing around and show up already. And for some reason, that just clicked. And I realized that if I wanted to be a writer, if that was bothering me enough that it was coming back again and again, if I wrote it down and every New Year's resolution, every word of the year, every intention that I want to be a writer, then what do writers do? They write. I had to show myself that I was a writer. And so I sat down either that day or the next day. I don't know what happened. I can't remember because it was over 3,000 days ago. And I decided, I counted forward. I love a good count forward. And I counted forward, and it was 90 days until my birthday. And so I sat down and I said, I'm going to do this for 90 days. And I did it. And at 90, I was like, I'm not stopping. This is amazing. And so I kept going. And the secret is, there are three secrets, and we're going to talk about them right now. Secret number one is do not sit down and say, although I did it at the first, I don't recommend it ever again. Do not sit down and say, I am going to do this for 90 days, 100 days, 5,000 days. Do not let yourself believe that. Let that be a goal, but let yourself not get overwhelmed. If that's motivating, do it. But if there's if there's a drip of overwhelm in that, don't do it. Put yourself into, I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to do this tomorrow, and I'm going to do this until, and it can be until it's done. If it's a project, it can be, I'm going to do it until a deadline, my birthday, Christmas, whatever, just to play with yourself to see if this is actually what you want to do. You don't have to commit to it forever if it's not what you want to do, but commit to it for an amount of time and commit to it today and repeat that. I'm showing up today because I am devoted to the part of me that is a writer, and I'm going to write today. I have written in airports, on airplanes with 102-degree fever. I wrote on the day of funerals. I've written on the day in hospice, watching my dad die. I have done this I got up at 4:30 on retreats that I was teaching, and I did it, so I was done. Excuse me. It's not about doing it forever. It's about doing it today. That is the spiritual practice. And it's also about doing something that resonates. Don't say, I'm going to do, my spiritual practice isn't yoga, because that's not, that is not in my soul about who I am. It might be in yours. So if you don't know what's in the soul about who you are, come to the answer, and I will teach you. I will help you find it, because it is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. When you know how to know who you are and step forward from that in the moment, it is the answer. Come and I will teach you. Trick number two is don't make it complicated. Don't make it, I do not have a certain pen. I do not have a certain book. I do not have a fancy journal. I do not have a certain time of day. We're going to talk about that in a minute. This is the book that I'm using right now, because I live in Costa Rica, and this is the cheapest, easiest option. I'm not precious about it. I just show up and I write. The practice is the pen on the paper. I have a loose rule about how many pages, but I don't even follow that. I started out saying writing to, I can't remember who I started out writing to. I've written it as a letter to God at times. I've written it to my highest self at times. I've written it to nobody at times. That changes, but the pen on the paper every day does not. So don't make it complicated. If you need a specific candle, you won't do it when the candle's not there. Don't give yourself an out. Don't give yourself an out. And step number 3 is do it when it works for you. Don't make the time matter. Right now in Costa Rica, we are living in, it is hot, and there are cicadas, and I'm doing this before 8 a.m. because the cicadas clock in at 8. And so when you want to write, or when you want to do your practice, don't make it a rule. Make the only rule that you do it before you go to bed. Make that the only rule. I do it before I go to bed. Because when you have too many restrictions around it, Number one, if you're anything like me, you will rebel. Number two, if you're anything like me, you won't do it if it isn't on the plan, if it isn't when you plan to do it. So make this one thing, this one practice, as easy as possible. Do I have other practices? I do have other practices. I light a candle every day in honor of my past loved ones. Do I do it every day? No. Do I get upset if I've broken it and I haven't done it every day? No. Because my one practice is writing every day. So this is my but the number one key, the number one piece, the number one bit of magic is that it has to matter more to you than anything else. And that only comes from creating it out of knowing who you are at a fundamental level. At a fundamental level, I am a writer. And there's more to it because I could write anything. I could write poetry. But the fundamental piece is my writing is about curiosity and delight and spirituality and having a personal relationship with the mystery. And so it has to be who you are. And again, if you need help with that, come join me in the answer because this changes everything. There will be a part 2 to this because I also want to talk to you about changing up your spiritual practice. So let me know what you thought in the comments. Like or share this with anybody who wants to create a spiritual practice for themselves and know that whatever you do is right. And you can change it because it's the showing up that is actually the practice. The last little bit there. The showing up is actually the practice. We'll talk about that in the next one. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.